Look, y'all, everybody watching, nobody thinking. It's nonstop news, nonstop social media. Everybody's reacting. Nobody's slowing down to ask what they're not saying. Let's talk about it. You keep hearing AI is going to help you work faster. But what you're not hearing is when AI no longer needs people at all. What happens when companies realize they don't need thousands of employees anymore? And what if the universe based income that everybody keeps screaming about isn't so generous? But in preparation of all of this is to put everyone under control. We're going to talk about AGI, artificial general intelligence, what they are saying, what they're saying publicly about it, of course, and what they're not saying behind closed doors. Let's get into it. You see, most people think AGI is ChatGPT. It's not. AGI means that AI can think, it can learn, it can adapt, it can reason, it can perform tasks like a human across almost everything. And when you think about that, most people, they're not thinking it's something bigger than just AI. They think of it like it's, again, ChatGPT or Claude. The AI tools that are out there today that obviously we all are probably using in some type of way, imagine just for a second if that AI tool could do anything way better than any human on this planet. Just imagine that for a second. Like right now today, if you go out and you use ChatGPT or Claude or something like that, they have its flaws, y'all. It's not 100% accurate at all. And most cases, you still can point out when different tools are used by AI right now today. And it's getting better, it's evolving and all those different things. When AGI fully takes flight, the replacement level of intelligence is going to change forever. And that's a scary thought because, again, we're hearing about how it's going to benefit us in all of these different ways, but nobody's talking about the cons to all of these different situations, right? The difference between having a search engine and a digital brain. That's a whole nother animal, right? Think about these tech companies that are out there today. They're racing to be first in this technology. Why? Because whoever gets there first is going to win and going to have this newfound power that we're not even going to be able to fathom, right? And think about why the government is paying a close attention on, who actually gets there first. Even, I don't want to say controlling it because I don't think that's it, but they have a heavy interest on who's going to be that controlling factor. It's wild to say that out loud, right? Think of it also this way. When you think about social media, how it changed communication forever, right? Like these kids these days ain't even asking people for their phone number. What's your IG? What's your TikTok? And they just hitting you up on IG or TikTok or Snapchat or whatever it is, right? AGI could change civilization forever, right? Think about coding. Coding things, AI can do those things with its matter of seconds. Customer service. I can remember being at Bank of America and they was using what they called then Erica, which was basically AI. And I'm sure now it has evolved into taking customer service calls too. That's some wild stuff. AI video creations. We're seeing that, and that is very scary. People are making fake AI or making fake videos using AI and making it seem like these things really transpire, and it's really just AI. That's some wild stuff. you know, AI is starting to replace things now. When AI gets way better, which they're saying within the next 2 years, that's how far out we are with this stuff. They're going to be replacing some of everything you can think of. Think about AI replacing entry level jobs. And that's the part where we're seeing that more and more every single day. We saw what AI did, and I'm calling it AI, but that's, in a nutshell, that's what it was. But we saw what AI did in respects to when it comes to Walmart, the cashiers, self checkout. Still needed a human for a short period of time. Now they have these stores where you can walk in, and when you pick up something, it goes into your cart automatically, right? Meaning that it's price checking it, right? Or not price checking, putting the price on your tab that you have when you walk in that store. As you pick up things, you're just picking things up, and it's ringing up. When you walk out, it charges you. That's happening already. So it's gonna get scary. And then we even think about, like Waymo vehicles. We had Uber. Now it is these vehicles are driving themselves, picking people up, dropping them off. All of this stuff is happening right before our eyes, and we got to make this all make sense because, in the near future, I just see it replacing everything, me personally. And I know there are people out there that's saying that, my job is secure. You're always going to need this or you're always going to need that. It sounds great. It sounds amazing. But we do have to live in the reality that we're currently seeing and the reality we can see where everything is moving. They have robots right now performing surgeries. They have robots in restaurants right now. They have this big robot out there right now. They're just testing it. Well, it'll build you a house in 2 days. Think about what I'm saying. All of this stuff matters. And it should matter to you 100% because at some point, it's going to be knocking at your front door. Let's think about what some of the leaders, and I'm calling them leaders in the AI world, what are they saying? Your Sam Altmans of the world, your Elon Musk, your Bill Gates. Like, think about the things that they're telling you right now. They're telling you that AGI and AI obviously is going to create all of this abundance. And I don't know if it will or it won't. To me, it doesn't seem that way, right? But again, I could be wrong. Like this universal high income that it's saying that it's going to create for people, the math ain't making sense to me. And that's just me, right? They're telling you about shorter work weeks. That's a whole nother animal too. People are going to be using AI to create wealth. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I can tell you that, several leaders have publicly floated the idea of universal income. And for me, while it sounds great for the individuals that depend on maybe some form of assistance, I hear that and I'm like, oh man, that could be good. But at the same time, I also hear it and I say, that's a level of control that I don't know that I'm 100% comfortable with because I believe if you give people the power to feed you, you also give them the power to starve you. And I don't know, man. It is an interesting thing to think about. And again, you're gonna have opinions on both sides of this. I'm just of the one that just don't trust it, and that's just me. Some people out there that do trust it, and that's cool. But it just ain't me because it sounds amazing. It really do. Until you ask that one question: what if they shut it off? What if they decide that your currency that they're producing for you, they decide that you did something that they didn't agree with or they didn't like, and they decide to put you on punishment? What happens? You have no other source, no other way to get the necessary things that you need. Um, I just don't see it as being as great as people think. Um, I think that is something that's going to put us in a world where we don't really want to be. Like, think of it this way. It's like Think of how you are currently today at your job. If you want a job today, right now today, and you do something and you get fired, your income is shut off. You got to go find another income source. If that income source was only coming from, I'm assuming, the government in this situation, and you did something to get cut off, what would you do? These are real things that you need to probably think about. And I don't want to make this doom and gloom, because it's not that. This stuff is not to scare you. It is only to prepare you. And for me, as I think about this, I'm thinking about all of the things that I'm hearing, all the things that I'm seeing, and I'm saying to myself, how can I put myself and my bloodline in a position to where they're not at the mercy of someone else? Like that's probably the biggest thing that I can think of. Like I heard Elon say the other day, if you're saving for retirement, you should probably stop. You don't need to. You don't have to worry about it. And he started talking about this universal high income. And it was mind-blowing to me. Meanwhile, he's worth $852 billion. If he was so sure 100% that you would never have to worry about retirement again, or money to support your loved ones, give it all away. Maybe that's what he planned on doing. I don't know. But he know money's not real, just like I know money ain't real. And he understands that the only purpose of money is to make money. So with that being said, maybe there's something else that's happening that, again, we just don't know because they're not saying. You really have to ask yourself the question, because the scary part isn't AI. That's not the scary part to me. The scary part is who owns it. That's the scary part for me. And it matters a lot, because in my mind, when I'm thinking about what they're not saying, the reason why you have these major corporations racing to be first on it, because they understand whoever controls it, they're the owner. And we all know, without even really over explaining it, ownership is how you create wealth. It just is what it is. So imagine if you own the corporation that controlled AGI or AI. You controlled all of that stuff. Like, imagine how wealthy this corporation would be. Like, the data becomes oil. Think about that for a second. AI companies become the infrastructure. That's some wild stuff to think about. The middle class get compressed. I think the middle class don't exist already, but the middle class become very compressed. Companies can instantly reduce their payroll. As a business owner, that is a benefit from a business owner perspective, not so much for the employees. You get it? So the scary part isn't AI. The scary part for me is the ownership. Who's going to own this new infrastructure, this new system, this new process? Who's going to own it? And whoever owns the system owns the economy. Think about that for a second. People without assets could become very dependent on these powerful corporations, because when you start to talk about human labor, right, becoming less valuable in some sectors, if not all, man, that could be catastrophic. It really could. This could create a large divide between asset owners and workers, a very large divide. So just imagine a world where one company can replace 50,000 workers with a server. I look at companies like biggest Bank of America and Amazon with over 500 million employees between them. They could replace their whole staff if they wanted to, with the exception of a handful of people, with a few servers. That's some wild stuff, y'all. And I don't know that, even though I hear what people are saying, I hear what these leaders are saying in regards to it, I just don't see how it's going to help the average person. I think the people that are building wealth, the people that are already wealthy, 100%, I think it benefits them. But the people that are at the bottom, I think this is going to hurt more than what we could ever imagine. So in my mind, this is things that are obviously the forefront of my mind. I'm sure it's at the forefront of your mind, especially if you're in some of these industries that have already started to see some of these changes happen, and or have been impacted by some of these changes. That's just it's an unreal situation, and it's one of those things where you just got to make it make sense all the way around, because what's the most important thing to you besides yourself? The people that you say you care about and love the most. When you think about universal basic income, it sounds crazy until you realize the people building AI are the same people that are talking about UBI. That's some wild stuff, right? So just imagine for a second if the government sends you a check every single month. One, what would that check be? What do you think they would send you every single month? Do you think it will be enough for you to afford your current lifestyle? Forget where it would be at that time when that happens, but do you think you'll be able to afford your current lifestyle today? Real questions that you probably should answer yourself. And based off of how it is today with your jobs, right, that you're working hard for, which I'm gonna call base survival income that you need. A lot of people that have jobs today, man, they're taking their 2 paychecks in a month and they splitting that up into 2 so they can afford to live. If you just got a check from the government every single month, I don't know that people would still be able to afford the same lifestyle that they have today. Now, does that mean that people are living above their means? Maybe. But if you're the person that's driving the income needed to support your lifestyle, that ain't nobody's business to tell you that, right? But if you got the government sending you a check every single month, we know how that ends up. Think about how well welfare worked. For some families, it helped them get through. For a lot of families, it wasn't enough to cover what they needed to cover. And the conditions that they had to live in weren't the best either. So these are things that you really gotta make that make sense. And you gotta understand that even though it seems like it's designed to stabilize society, is it really? Is it really designed to save you from something that's horrible right now today? I don't know. I don't think so, at least in my humble opinion, right? I think it could, will it reduce poverty? Sure. If everybody got a check every single month, I think it probably would reduce poverty, simply because you got these homeless people that will instantly start to get a check, and could they afford to go and get them a small little place to rent out so they have a roof over their head, food in their belly at the very least? Sure, 100%. So I think it would reduce poverty, but the people that's in the middle is where all the hurt is going to happen, because they'll have to reduce their life too in order to make sure that the other parties get what they need. And I don't know, y'all. To me, I think it would stop the economy from collapsing. I'm giving the things that might help. It might be beneficial for it. It might stop the economy from collapsing, because the way people spend today is wild, if that makes sense. The way people use money today is very interesting, needless to say. I don't know. In some respects, it seemed like it could be a good thing, but in my mind, I just go back to, if you give somebody the power to feed you, you also give them the power to starve you. And the dependency that you would wind up having for the government sending you a check every single month, I think overall it would just be horrible. That's me. And I could be wrong. I could be looking at that the wrong way. I'm just thinking about intrinsically it making more people lazy. It making more people not think. It's making more people settle for this world that realistically, I just don't think we were put here to have that type of situation happen, where you have a handful of powerful people controlling everything. Seemingly it's that way today, but this universal base income will put a lot more constraints around it, a lot more control that they would have over it based off of that carrot dangling in front of you. Now, I would tell you, this is not about, again, scaring you. It's more so about preparing you, right? So what do I say in that aspect, right? You need to prepare. What do I mean by that? You need to start building ownership, right? That's going to be something very, very important before these next couple of years or few years hit. You owning some stuff. Why? Because you want to be able to have some type of control over what your lifestyle is going to be and what it's not going to be, right? So one of the things I will tell you flat out, you need to learn AI instead of ignoring it. I know there are people out there right now that won't use AI to save their life, but the reality of it is, it's here and it's here to stay. You might well learn it versus ignoring it so you can capitalize on it. If you haven't created any digital products before, you need to go out and create some digital products. Because again, you want to be able to do some things to where you can put things into flight and generate some form of income off of it so that you can start to do other things, right? Um, and that's a major way to catch some stuff happen. If you don't know how to create a digital product, I created a vault. It's actually on the app as well. You can go over there and grab the vault, the legacy builder. It'll show you how to create a digital product and all of that other stuff too. The other thing is you need to start working on building yourself an audience, building a community, building something where you have the attention of people. Because even if we do go into that environment full-fledged in the next few years or so, you're going to need that community and that attention, because that might be the only thing that could save you. It is what it is, y'all. Owning businesses, again, is going to be important. If you got a job today and you haven't decided to get out there to start your own business, you're starting a little bit behind the 8 ball. It ain't over with just yet. You can go ahead and get started right now. Don't push it off. Get started right now. Owning assets, like things that are going to produce you some form of cash flow, because the reality of it is that's what you're going to need. If you get put out of work for whatever reason, your asset still can produce you some form of cash flow, so you're not disrupting your lifestyle if all of this stuff happens the way that they're saying it's happening, right? Learn about leverage. Like, you're gonna have to learn about leverage one way or the other, right? And the reason why I'm saying learn about leverage is mainly because even though people go out and say, "Oh man, I'm using other people's money and I'm leveraged here and I'm leveraged there," most people overlook becoming over leverage. Over leverage is a real thing, and there's a lot of people that are currently today that are over leveraged, and we're starting to hear about it. It's some wild stuff that's transpiring. Learn media. Learning media is going to be important. Why? Because that can be another form of business that you can tap into, because media is going to be around regardless of the situation. And learn distribution. If you learn those different things and you apply those different things, you can get ahead of the curve. You know, the one example that I always give people is, man, you have a job right now. You got your taxes that are being paid first. You got your living expenses that you're paying next. And that little extra money that you have, guess what you're doing today? You're using it on things that don't give you a return on your investment. Maybe you using for your bad habits. Maybe you're partying. Maybe you're shopping. Whatever it is, you're using it for things that aren't going to get you a return on investment. That money that you have, you need to start using that stuff for things that's going to get you a return on investment. Go get you some rental properties. Go buy you some land. Like, you want to start doing things that's going to get you a return on your investment. You're going to need it. I can't stress that to you enough. The future may belong to people who own systems. And if you don't own those systems, you might be in trouble, right? And you got to remember, when you own a system, you're not just working inside of them, you own them. Like I saw something, shout out to Judy and DeBrett. They just did their own reality TV show where they filmed it. It's their own content, and they launched it on Facebook. So you can go watch their reality. I'm giving them a shameless plug, by the way. But you can watch their reality TV show that they created for themselves. Now, they don't own the Facebook system, but at the same time, they're owning their own content, right? And now they can make the money that they want to make off of their own content themselves. You get it? So they got some form of a process that they're putting in place. In my mind, I'm saying to myself, hey man, get your own platform and put your reality TV show on your own platform. If you build the audience big enough, you got the recognition, people will come. It is what it is. My wife has a reality TV show that's coming to her own platform in the very near future, KWWK Network. And we've been looking at, all right, how do we capitalize off of that reality TV show, not just from her own platform, but are there licensing things that we can do, or other things that we can do to make that a reality? I have my own reality TV show as well. I haven't done anything with it yet because I'm kind of waiting to make some other things transpire. But the truth of the matter is, depending on where I want to launch it at, I own the IP of it because I own the whole process of it. I put the system in place to make it happen. You get it? So that's what it ultimately boils down to. You got to look at some form of ownership to prepare for this stuff that's going to transpire. Because the truth of the matter is, if this transpires and you no longer work a job and you're just getting that check every single month, I can tell you, one, it's not going to be enough. We understand that. But if you have assets, rental properties, things in the stock, money in the stock market, other businesses that are cash flowing, whatever it is that you're doing, if you have something that's cash flowing for you every single month like clockwork, guess what? You're not dependent on that check you get from the government. You're not dependent on that at all. Think about that for a second. Make it make sense. So when you think about all this stuff, real estate should be at the top of your mind. 100%. Why does real estate need to be at the top of your mind? Because if you go out and you get you some land today, for an example, land is the only thing that only goes up in value and don't go up and down. Plus, you make money when you buy land, not when you sell it. Well, how is it that you're making money when you buy land, not when you sell it? When you buy the land, it's guaranteed to go up in value. And not only is it guaranteed to go up in value, whatever you decide to do with the land, build some rental properties, you're going to make money off of that. Use the land for hunting, you're going to make money off of that. Using the land for solar panel farms, you're going to make money off of that. Using the land for leasing to these corporations, you're going to make money off of that. Using land to have pecan trees, hunting land, hangars, cell phone top, like you can make money off of land guaranteed because why? They're not making no more. And being that they're not making no more, everybody needs it. You can't live if we didn't have land, we would be what? Underwater? Think about that for a second. But you got to have that form of real estate because it's something hard, tangible, a hard asset that you can benefit off of forever. And that's some wild stuff to say, but it just is what it is. I know, like for me, owning, a media company has been something interesting. And I'm learning a lot of stuff, but I'm trying to put a lot more stuff into flight ASAP, just based off of the things that I can foresee transpiring in the near future. Building a brand is important, not just for me, but for everybody. Getting a community. If you're not starting to build out your community, I don't know what to tell you. But outside of building a community outside of your household, you need to be looking at the people that you say you care about and love the most, and you all need to come together to start to work together as a family. Why am I saying that? You're gonna need it. I was just telling my wife the other day that, our family compound, man, and people in my family, I'm like, hey, look, y'all need to go ahead and rent out y'all homes that y'all already have. We just added some more properties. We're gonna continue adding more properties as well to our land, to our little compound that we have, and y'all all can move over there. Now, we all working for the same family business. The money that we have that comes in, obviously, is going to take care of business expenses, and then it's going to pay taxes. The rest of the money is going to be dumped back into the business to make more money. But now, by us living on this compound, we don't have all those extra expenses because now we done pulled everybody together. You get it? And I know some families aren't really ideal to work in that type of environment because everybody's family ain't the same. But what I believe when we get to this place of full AGI, where basically AI is taking over basically everything, I believe that if your family don't come back in close together, it's going to be a complete struggle. You're going to need somebody more than just you. And thinking about all this, I have a bigger question that nobody's asking, right? If AI does everything, what's going to give people purpose? Will humans create more if AI do everything? Will people become super lazy? Maybe. Will creativity matter anymore? Possibly. Will relationships become the new luxury? I don't think people are ready for that conversation. Will the human experience become premium? These are things that you probably should be asking. This is what's at the forefront of my mind right now. And in this world full of AI, being truly human may become valuable again. So I don't think that's a bad thing, because that's something that I think the world is lacking right now today, right? So when I think about this stuff, I have to say this. You don't have to panic. Don't panic about this stuff, y'all. But you do need to pay attention, and you do need to prepare, because the people preparing for the future are moving right now. And I know it's hard to get people to take action. I get it, how hard it is for people to take action. But you got to get on the move today, now, period. Because you can't make that move when the change happened. It's going to be too late. That window of opportunity is not only closing fast, man, it's a lot of pressure to think about this stuff sometimes. But again, for me, when I look at this stuff, because I'm not a person that lives in fear, I am a person that looks for solutions. I just believe that if you take the time to prepare, none of this stuff will matter anyway. You know, me and my family been buying land for I don't know how many years now. We have rental properties. We're about to buy our very first apartment complex in the next 180 days. And we're going to continue buying apartment complexes as well, continue buying land. We have multiple businesses. We're just trying our best to beat whatever curve it is that we need to beat so we can be ahead of it. And when it finally gets here and it settles and we understand what we're in again, we might have to pivot again. I don't know. We might have to make some other adjustments. We'll see. But here's the part that I want you to hear. What's the worst could happen if you prepared? If you prepare for all of these different things that they say could happen, right? And you're at a place where these things do happen, you should be able to benefit from all of these things out there. AGI, universal base income, job loss. You should be able to benefit from all of that. Let's look at the flip side. What if none of this stuff happens and you've prepared for all of this stuff to happen? You're still going to be in an amazing spot. You're going to have more assets, more cash flow. You're going to be then brought your family close. You're going to be then built a system around your family to where you can win and you don't have to worry about what everybody else got going on. You get it? This stuff is, again, not to scare you. It is truly to prepare you. Because I want people to think. I know I'm thinking. I'm thinking like crazy these days. Like, all right, I need to do this. I need to move this piece here. I need to do that. All right, we were doing this way. We need to shift it that way now. But I'm doing this all from in my head, thinking about what it is I want to do and how I want to play, and then pushing it out into reality. I'm not doing it from a job, which is way more difficult. So for those of you that are working right now today, trading your time for money, you got to really start thinking. And I know you don't have time. You got to make time. It is truly, truly important to everything that you're trying to do. So look, y'all, I appreciate y'all tapping in here with me. And hopefully everything works out the way y'all want it to work out. Hopefully this thing that I'm seeing, I'm hoping that it's something different and everybody benefits from it 100%. But I don't want to be in la la land. So with that being said, look, y'all be good. I have fun being bad, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Peace. Look, y'all, if y'all enjoyed this episode and y'all fully enjoyed this episode, we go way deeper than this on the app. You can go over this. You're on Zabo 103 TV right now. Go ahead and upgrade. We talk about how to execute all of these things that I'm talking about. It don't matter if it's job loss from AI. It don't matter if it's about finding assets that will cash flow. We talk about how to execute all those different things. So again, tap in with us over at Zabo103TV.com, and I'll see y'all on the inside. Peace.